afternoon. Here is the news. Afternoon first, the highlights. Lagos State Parking Authority clarifies misuse of authorities' branding. Federal government mulls 500 billion naira housing budget for 2025. And foreign in Russian President Vladimir Putin signs decree allowing use of nuclear arms amid war with Ukraine. And in sports, targets Confederation of African Football Women's Champions League history in semi-final battle against TP Mazembe. And now the details. I am Mike James. The Lagos State Parking Authority LASPA has clarified that the on-street parking scheme in Lagos is yet to commence, and no individual or agent has been issued permits to charge fees for on-street parking or to collect hourly parking charges. LASPA said the clarification became necessary as its attention was drawn to a video circulating online showing a man identified as Isaiah seen wearing a jacket branded with the Lagos State Government and LASPA logos. LASPA in a statement explained that the individual in the video is not an authorized agent of the agency and the permit shown in the video is specifically issued for setback parking, while noting that the permit is not being used for its intended purpose in the video. LASPA has categorically stated that all activities or actions suggested in the video are illegal. LASPA encouraged the public to be cautious and avoid engaging with individuals who may be posing as its agents without proper authorization, urging the public to disregard any misleading information about parking permits or charges from unauthorized sources. The Chief Medical Director, Lagos State University Hospital, Adetokun, has called for the review of Nigeria's abortion laws, stressing that the liberalization of the laws may reduce deaths from unsafe abortions in Nigeria. He stated this in his address at the 6th annual Abimbola Omololu Mulele lecture titled The Tortuous Road to Maternal Mortality Reduction in Nigeria, Avoidable Strongholds on Liberal Abortion Laws, organized by the University of Lagos Office of Advancement and the Board of Trustees of Abimbola Aino. Faba will express reducing mortality in Nigeria and the need to particularly focus on the obstacles posed by restrictive abortion laws. He highlighted the alarming rates of maternal deaths in Nigeria due to unsafe abortions, emphasizing the urgent need for reform to safeguard women's health and well-being. Babawu attributed the prevalence of unsafe abortions in Nigeria to stringent abortion laws that drive women to seek clandestine procedures. The House of Representatives Committee on Navy has called for improved funding to support the Nigerian Navy's operations and infrastructure development. Speaking during an oversight visit to units and formations under the Western Naval Command in Lagos, Chairman of the Committee on the Navy, Yusuf Gagdi, emphasized the need for increased allocation. Gagdi noted that the committee visited the command to inspect projects funded by the National Assembly, federal government interventions, and support from agencies like NNPC and the World Bank. He emphasized that the committee would not be able to give a conclusive position on the Navy until they had visited other commands. Gagdi assured that members of the committee will return to scrutinize projects, interact with commanders, and assess Navy's utilization of taxpayers' money. The federal government says it is liaising with the National Assembly leadership to increase its annual housing budget to a minimum of 500 billion naira, starting with the 2025 budget cycle. Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Hamid Dangiwa, who made this known, argued that the appeal became necessary as the 50 billion naira annual budget for housing is grossly inadequate compared to the yearly 5.5 trillion naira required to address the housing deficit. Dangiwa said this would encourage expansion of housing projects to cover the remaining 18 states and increase the unit count per state from 250 to at least 500. The minister also announced the establishment of the National Social Housing Fund, which aims to ensure that all Nigerians, especially low-income earners, vulnerable and underprivileged groups, have access to decent and dignified housing. And no fewer than 25 persons have been confirmed dead as a result of gastroenteritis outbreak, otherwise known as cholera, in 3 local government areas of the state, out of a total of 1,160 cases recorded in the state. Commissioner for Health, Asabe Balarabe, who confirmed the development, explained that the state is treating 15 other victims of the outbreak on active cases from Sokoto North, Silame and Kwari local government areas. According to the Commissioner, the 15 active cases were diagnosed through laboratory tests based on culture and sensitivity and confirmed to be active cases of the cholera outbreak. Balarabe added that rescue teams are collaborating with the state government to manage and forestall further spread of the dreaded disease. And now to foreign news. Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed a decree allowing Moscow to use nuclear weapons against a non-nuclear state if it is supported by nuclear powers. The move comes on the 1,000th day of Russia's offensive on Ukraine, and after the United States gave Kyiv permission to use long-range missiles to strike military targets inside Russia. Putin has issued a string of nuclear threats throughout the almost 3-year campaign against Ukraine, triggering concern in the West over rhetoric it has slammed as reckless. The new doctrine also allows Moscow to unleash a nuclear response in the event of a massive air attack, even if it only uses conventional weapons. And over to sports news. Nigeria Women Football League champions Edo Queens will aim to become the first Nigerian club to reach the final of the CAF Women's Champions League as they take on TP Mazembe in the first semi-final match in Morocco. Edo Queens reached the last 4 of the 8-team tournament on Saturday after sending defending champions Mamelodi Sundowns packing in dramatic fashion. They trailed the South Africans by a goal until the dying moment of the match, and clutch player Emem Essien scored the equalizer in added time before Mary Mahmoudou scored a late goal to win the match. News at Drink and Drive. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, Traffic Radio 961. Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs. It's live on YouTube, Traffic Radio 961. You get our website at www.traffic961.in. That the Sanwo-Olu administration strengthened alliance with 200 representatives from various women-focused NGOs in the state as part of efforts to alleviate the economic plight of women residents in the state. You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. And to end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Lagos State Parking Authority LASPA has clarified that the on-street parking scheme in Lagos is yet to commence, and no individual or agent has been issued permits to charge fees for an on-street parking or to hourly parking charges. The federal government says it is liaising with the National Assembly leadership to increase its annual housing budget to a minimum of 500 billion naira, starting with the 2025 budget cycle. We also told you that Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed a decree allowing Moscow to use nuclear weapons against a non-nuclear state if it is supported by nuclear powers. In sports, Nigeria Women Football League champions Edo Queens will aim to become the first Nigerian club to reach the final of the CAF Women's Champions League as they take on TP Mazembe in the first semi-final match in Morocco. For contacts with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast, compiled by Abiola Fagbolagun. Thank you for listening, Lagos. My name is Mike James. Beautiful afternoon to you. It's now time for us to connect with the duo of Micah Arocha and Timotokwe Peterside for lunchtime waka. To have yourself a wonderful time.